Okay, so Paige, it is so nice to see you and chat with you. But to get started, Daisies was conceptualized back in 2018, and I wanted to ask you where this idea came from.
So initially it was, I started with my friend Sandra Winther. She's a director. She's from Denmark, but she's been living in New York for almost, I think 8 years now. And she's incredible. And she makes a lot of work with, brands. She makes a lot of advertisements, different campaigns. And she really wanted to start making personal work and finding a way to showcase it. And I've been a journalist for, I don't know, like 10 years now, working for different magazine outlets and like ID, Purple, like, like you guys. And I was like, working in that space and looking at art shows all the time. I felt like there was something missing. So between the two of those, her wanting to present new work and me feeling like the shows that I was seeing were like really lacking, we came up with this idea to put something really beautiful together. And then from there, the first exhibition was really cool because not only did we have visual work, but we also had dance performances and musical performances as well. So it was really cool to start bringing in other types of work. And since then, I've had like poetry readings and conceptual dances and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like snowballed, but that's really where it started.
Yeah, and I mean, it's only 3 years out, and Daisies has just absolutely blown up. So I'm so excited to see where it goes. But yeah, that's wonderful. So secondly, I know that the name was inspired by the 1966 film Daisies. And what about that sort of inspired you to name your exhibition after
I know, I think I definitely just have an affinity to films like that have this kind of anarchic, nihilistic feeling to it, like very youthful, youth culture kind of aesthetic. But the film is really about these two, existentially disillusioned girls deciding that, there's no point in anything, so let's just have fun. And it's obviously very silly and it's, quite simple, but it's kind of like a fun escape to kind of think of things that way. And Daisies is just like this, not being super concerned about like the way that you're presenting yourself, I guess, and like whether something's cool or whatever. It's just like being really excited about what makes you really happy and creating like the weirdest, bizarre things and just like kind of like really reaching out. And then like supporting one another. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but hopefully it's
Yeah, oh my God, totally. It's so funny too. I like watched the trailer for it last night, and I feel like it's high up now on like my to-do list. It looks so cool.
It's really fun. It's very experimental, and I feel like all my shows kind of like have that kind of ethos, that kind of aesthetic that's just like really fun and like revelrous, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, sort of like going back to Daisies blowing up. I remember hearing first about you in this series in a Page 6 article earlier this year, where you said, I invited like 5 people and like 2,000 people came into this thing. I don't know how any of these people found out about it. It was insane. So for you, how has it been having Daisies sort of get this explosive attention in such short time?
Well, that was crazy because I hadn't done anything in so long because of the pandemic. I did actually one exhibition in the Seaport and some windows. And actually a lot of people came to that as well, but it was literally February. It was nighttime. It was on the water.
Yeah.
And it was like literally below zero. It was like so bitter cold.
And that wind chill in the Seaport, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine.
It was absolute death. I like just cannot believe anybody came out at all. But it was cool, to be able to do something and have it outdoors and everyone was safe and all of that. But other than that, I hadn't done anything in so long. And so I was really excited to put the show together, but I was like, oh, did everybody kind of like forget about this project? Is anybody going to show up except for the artists and their friends and family? And yeah, I was like, whoa, oh my God. And I really didn't invite many people. Of course, I posted on my Instagram, but I ended up being so busy with the production side of things that I almost kind of forgot to invite people.
Yeah.
And so that was a very sincere comment. And I was like, oh my God, how did this happen?
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because I remember seeing like in the same article, like there were huge people like Evan Mock in attendance, Julia Fox from Uncut Gems. And I also wanted to ask, is there anybody who you were like super surprised to see show up at any of your shows?
Honestly, that show was so special because I met this kid, one of the artists, Kai. His dad and his sister came, and they were just the loveliest people. And I think that's the best thing, is like meeting people's parents and meeting their families, and getting to know them on like that other level, and like getting their parents like excited to like see them, presenting their work, and that whole like community thing is like really cute. And I think it's really special, especially in New York too, because a lot of people, a lot of my friends are from New York, but a lot of people aren't. And it's kind of fun to kind of like mix that in. We don't really spend enough time with our families and parents, within the community. So it's really nice when we have that, added support.
Yeah. And like holistically speaking, like how would you describe the sort of scene of people at your event? And what is the sort of like message and vibe that you want to like portray to them?
I mean, like, because the shows present so many different types of work, from like jewelry to like stuffed animals, to videos, VR, like everything.
Yeah.
I want it to just be, like something that inspires anybody just to just make whatever they want, like just get really excited about it. With like with Gabby, for instance, you can see maybe behind this tapestry right here, like it's insanity. And she just started knitting and like started making all these like super weird things. Emin is like just found her way through that. And I think it's just like not being afraid to really get involved and know that there's a community behind you. When you come to these things, you're going to meet other people that are like-minded, and they're going to encourage you, and you can kind of like give each other ideas and really collaborate. And that's really what it's about, I think.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how you sort of put a priority on giving a spotlight to all of these different emerging artists from seemingly all over the world. And how has this approach impacted your overall goal for Daisies?
I'm not sure I understand the question exactly.
So I feel like Daisies is cool because it's a really sort of like showcase to put a spotlight on all of these different like emerging artists and collaborators that from all over the world. So for you, what is it like having like all of these ideas come from all of these different places, like all over the world?
I mean, it's really great to have all those different perspectives. Although you kind of realize that everywhere is so similar, at this point. Friends from all over kind of have a lot of the same perspectives on things. Which makes us, I think personally, makes us feel like kind of like one, like we're really not alone, we're all in this kind of together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh my God, totally. And seeing like the overlap between everybody, I feel like has got to be so fascinating.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Like one of the artists in the show who I coerced into driving all the work down with me, because there are 42 artists in the show.
Yeah.
My friend Lucas Ganster, he's a photographer, and he's from Vienna.
Oh,
and
cool.
we met here at one of my other shows, Good Taste, in Miami in 2019. And he was just like, came to a show, and I met him. We, it's how like the community builds, right? And yeah, but it's crazy. Like I see him like everywhere. I'll be in Los Angeles and he'll be there, and it's just like you realize like this community is really small all over the world. Everyone kind of just gravitates towards the same things. Really special in that way.
Yeah, I love that. And for Art Basel, specifically, which the event is tonight, you're sort of traveling back to the Y2K era. And what is it about like the 90s and early 2000s that inspire you and like draw you in?
I mean, I just think it's really fun. Like, it's definitely like people are looking in the window from the show. Hi guys.
Hey.
I'm like in a fishbowl right now. Everyone's like,
you're the art.
Windows are open. No, I think like who doesn't love those aesthetics, like the grunge, kind of like punk, but like all this like glitter, and I don't know, it's just so much fun,
Yeah, and I feel like too, like so many fashion trends are like coming back specifically from like the Y2K era. Like low-rise jeans are coming back, and like all these different hair trends that like, I don't know, Bella Hadid sort of immediately comes to mind. And I feel like it's just like making its way back, that I feel like sort of showcasing that with the exhibition tonight is just like so full circle.
Yeah, and just like definitely like youth culture kind of takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
it's gonna be sweet. And lastly, for 2022, do you have any ideas in the works for a Daisy series next year?
Well, I'm starting to get excited about going to other places like Bali, and Japan and doing that kind of thing. Hopefully I'm able to soon. I'm planning to do a pop-up with my buddies who had this shop called Token on Canal Street in New York in Chinatown. They just moved to Europe, and we're talking about doing some kind of like pop-up in Biarritz for like a month this summer.
Oh,
So
that'd be sweet.
like really fun. Yeah, I'm like any way that I can just like travel and go to the coolest places and get to connect with like, the local art community there and bring some friends through. And then hopefully at some point I'll be able to get a physical space in New York as well.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, I cannot thank you enough for chatting with us, and I wish you the best of luck with your event tonight.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, thank you so much.